Ubisoft for years has been criticized for the insertion of DEI into their games, and quite frankly, just for the state of the games they've released themselves. And now they have two big budget games that they have a ton riding on that are set to be released throughout the rest of the year. One is coming pretty soon, and that's Star Wars Outlaws. The other is, of course, Assassin's Creed Shadows. And both of them have a ton of controversy surrounding them. And after the most recent quarterly earnings call, where their investors really asked them, hey, it doesn't seem like you guys are too positive about the future of what you're going to do over the next couple of quarters. Are you worried about Star Wars Outlaws? Are you worried about this next entry in the Assassin's Creed franchise? And they did their best to kind of stumble through things and not exactly answer questions while admitting that it's a little bit soft when it comes to pre-orders and what they're expecting. But now we're seeing Ubisoft make a move ahead of the release, maybe trying to cut costs a little bit, maybe because they know that these things aren't going to be too great for them. Who knows? Ahead of Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows release, Ubisoft lays off 45 employees. Now, 45 employees to Ubisoft, which is a massive company, you know, it's a couple drops in the bucket at the end of the day. And it is telling, though, because Ubisoft has already gone through minimizing and layoffs and things like this recently over the past couple of years. And now they're even making it smaller. They're trying to cut more cost for this company. And it's hard to believe that they're not at least a little bit worried about what's coming next with these two games. Because remember, Star Wars Outlaws, from the moment we first saw this story trailer, we really got to look at this protagonist. There's been a ton of backlash surrounding this. You just look at the ratio, 132,000 dislikes to 41,000 likes. You think about the problems Ubisoft has had in general. You think about the problems Disney Star Wars has had. You combine this with the game that to a lot of people, one, isn't a character they're necessarily interested in, that they decided to uglify compared to what the actual actress looks like. And of course, when it comes to the graphics themselves, they are getting completely and totally destroyed over this. I want to give you a little look. We'll do slow-mo, right? We'll do, let's see, what should we do? We don't need fucking subtitles. Let's do 0.75 speed to slow it down. You don't need the sound for this. I just want you guys to see. This came out like a month ago for them. This is what the game is going to look like, what this demo was. Look at the fucking graphics for this. That looks like a game that was made in 2004 that's being ported onto a Nintendo Switch. That's what the graphics for this thermal detonator look like, but just wait for the explosion. It looks like clip art or something. It legitimately does. And this is the game you're supposed to pay fucking $70 for. Or if you want the extra edition, or if you want access to all the missions, you got to pay even more. It's insane. And that's just Star Wars Outlaws, let alone the other game they have coming out later this year. And of course, that is Assassin's Creed Shadows that we saw Ubisoft virtue signal so fucking hard for. You want to talk about backlash? This is that game. And it's not just here in America. In Japan, people are furious because we've seen the virtue signaling from Ubisoft that they tried to gaslight everyone into believing, oh, we wanted to be very historically accurate with this. We put our best effort forward. Well, it doesn't really play out because just in the trailers, you can see they've got Chinese structures instead of Japanese structures. You see they got the wrong font on some of these things. And of course, them trying to gaslight the world that Yasuke was actually a samurai. Yes, it's true. Yasuke was a black man in Japan. He did indeed exist. However, there is no historical evidence that Yasuke was an actual samurai. And in fact, now the one person that wrote the book that everybody cites on this has now been discredited as a fucking fraud, as somebody who went in and changed all of these different references to meet what he was pushing, the lie that he was pushing. It's a fucking joke. And it's sad that people still believe there's any evidence to back up Yasuke being a samurai. He existed. He did. He was kind of seen as an aberration, as entertainment for them. It's not all positive. I don't know why people are bragging about Yasuke being there. However, it is undeniable that there has been, like Star Wars Outlaws, an immense amount of backlash for this game. Over 500,000 dislikes on the premiere trailer. Now, this is still an Assassin's Creed game. I still expect it to sell really, really well. However, it's undeniable that the game that so many people were looking for, right, or forward to, an Assassin's Creed game set in Japan has been something fans have been asking for over a decade now. And of course, Ghost of Tsushima did it way better than Ubisoft is probably going to. But you finally give the fans what they've been asking for, and instead of actually including a Japanese man, you decide we want to go full DEI. We want a non-Japanese perspective into this game. So we're going to go with this gaslit lie that Yasuke was actually a fucking samurai when he never was. It's a nightmare. And I think Ubisoft probably should be very, very worried about what the future holds for the rest of this year, because I'd have to imagine they've got a lot of money tied up in the production of both Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows. And these two games are now facing more backlash. These probably more than any other game that's out there right now. And they're both Ubisoft games that are still set to release this year. This could end up being very, very bad for them. It's a big franchise in Star Wars, big franchise in Assassin's Creed. I expect them to sell decently, but how well they're going to sell could very well be impacted by these massive scandals they've had to face along the way. Maybe that's why Ubisoft's doing a little bit of belt tightening before these games release, so they have something to say, hey, guys, we cut costs here. Don't worry, even though these were disappointing sales. We promise we're doing other things to boost profits here at old Ubisoft.